Matter may be classified as elements, compounds, or mixture. Elements and compounds are pure forms because they cannot be broken down into simpler substances, whereas mixtures are impure because they can still be separated. An element is a substance that cannot be broken down into simpler forms by ordinary chemical process. Example of an element is oxygen, the one we breathe in, hydrogen, sodium, sulfur, potassium, all the elements that you know, and there are about 109 elements. Compound constitutes of two or more elements chemically bound together. Example of a compound is water, consisting of two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. Another example of a compound is hydrogen chloride, HCl, consisting of hydrogen and chlorine. Mixture constitutes of many substances that can be separated using physical processes or chemical processes as well. Example of mixtures are blood, urine, the milk you take, the air that you breathe in, consisting of oxygen, nitrogen, and the rest of them, the blood. As a way of taking notes, we are going to be looking at these elements, compounds, and mixtures. Matter may be classified as elements, compounds, and mixtures. An element is a substance which cannot be split into simpler units by an ordinary chemical process. Example is oxygen, hydrogen, etc. And there are about 109 known elements. Elements are actually in pure form because they cannot be broken down into other elements. A compound is a substance which contains two or more elements chemically combined together. Example is H2O, which is water, and HCl, which is hydrogen chloride. Note that the properties of the constituent elements, let's say for hydrogen, for water, the property of water, H2O, is very different from the property of hydrogen separately or oxygen separately. Just like HCl, this is an acid, it's corrosive. The property of this acid is very, very different from the property of the hydrogen differently or the chlorine differently. Now, a mixture contains two or more constituents which can easily be separated by physical methods. In subsequent classes, we are going to be looking at separation techniques. We are going to find out that we actually use separation techniques to separate mixtures. Examples of mixtures are air, soil, urine, palm wine, Coca-Cola, milk, blood, crude oil, brass, seawater, etc.